called Family Matters. Family Matters is a 1 hour program at 11 a.m. with Human Services family caseworker. Listen in for insights and detailed information on core topics such as the disciplining of the child, the integral involvement of men, and the empowerment of women in the family, parenting and associated laws, child and drug abuse, domestic violence, and teenage pregnancy. Call in to air your views and make your contributions on 459 7885 or 459 7888. Family Matters on 88.5 Sufre FM.
Okay. So, good morning, listeners. Thank you once again for logging in. I'm hoping today that persons will be calling in, make our program a little more interesting with your calls. Today with me are three beautiful ladies. I will let them introduce themselves and tell you why they are here and where they are coming from. Okay? But before we go into any introductions and into our program, I'm wearing blue, and I'd like to say that today is World Autism Day, and of course, we wear blue in observance of World Autism. So, why blue? Blue represents calmness, acceptance, and understanding, key values in supporting the autism community. And together, we can create a world of acceptance, inclusion, and understanding. Okay, so big up to our education centers, both in Sufre, in Viewfort, and I think we do have others up north. So big up to all our education centers in St. Lucia and continue doing the great job that you do. Of course, our children, and I will say our children, they belong to all of us, are not, as persons say, they're supposed to be looked down on and all. Yes, they may be disabled, differently able, but I call them specially able because they are very special. Okay, so kudos to you, special education. You are doing a marvelous job, especially to the members of the Viewfort Education Center. I know Mrs. Danielle, Malcolm Danielle, big up to you. You're doing an awesome job there. And Miss Tracy Charles keeping it down. Mrs. Lorna Jean-Pierre, you are doing an awesome job. So all of you, big up to you and keep doing the marvelous job that you do. Our education center in Sufra, Mrs. Regis, principal, you are doing an awesome job. Keep up the good work. All right. So over to you, my lovely ladies here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and, of course, where they are coming from and why they are here. Well,
I can start.
go on. Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Divine Faswa. I am coming from the Super Comprehensive Secondary School. I am here on a 2-day job training.
My name is Daniela Daniel. I come from the Super Comprehensive School and I'm also here on a 2-day job training.
My name is Shanice Lamontine. I come from the Super Comprehensive School. I am here on a 2-day internship with the Super Regional Development Foundation with the Community Liaison Department, but I have an interest in social work, so thank you.
Okay, awesome. So tell us a little more about this internship program, this job training. Tell us a little more about it. Any of you? That's fine.
Okay, so the job training program is basically an activity which our school counselor and the HFLE department put together to give the Form 5s an opportunity to experience a career. So you will write down what you're interested in, and they will look for the best possible place which will suit you, suit your career, and just so you get an experience of the real work world on your career to see whether or not you want to pursue it in the future.
Anything you'd like to add, Ms. Divine? Yes? Okay. So do you think that's a good initiative by the school? And why? Do you think it's a good initiative and why is it a good initiative by the school? Any of you? Good.
I do believe that it's a good initiative put in place by the school because I feel like as we step out, we can experience what it's really like to be independent on our own and just to get a feel of how it is so that we know what to expect in the real world and to also put ourselves out there, stepping into the different places of employment just to expose ourselves and give the world what we have to offer.
Um, it also allows you to develop proper working skills, allows you to experience the field of work, and yeah, I believe that yes, it's a great initiative.
All right. And to my two interns, I do call them my two trainees, tell us how has it been for you with at the social work department?
Honestly, for me, when I first started, I was scared because I thought it was going to be hard. But then Miss Bodymet came and she really explained everything to us. Now I actually have like my passion for being a social worker has actually grown, and she has been a very great mentor.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Awesome.
Okay,
Vanessa.
so coming into this experience, I was nervous, I was scared, I didn't know what to expect. But then we got a lovely social worker, Miss Fortimer. She she gave us an idea of how the working field is, and we're out in the department with her, and I actually love it. And thanks to her, my passion for social worker has grown even more, and I'm hoping I pursue a career in social worker in the future.
Great, awesome. Now you, young lady, tell us how your experience has been.
My experience in the community liaison department has been really fun. I got to sit at a meeting with Miss Pascal, Miss Manfred, and just to experience how a meeting, not a meeting, two ceremonies will merge, but still at the end, they came to a decision that they would just have it on the same day, just at separate times. So that was really fun. And today we will be going out to the field to hand out some hampers to family. So yeah, that's really fun.
Awesome. And you did indicate that you have an interest in becoming a social worker. Okay. So part of this, even if you may not be in the department, but also you are doing outreach, meaning that you're going out there to help the needy by giving the hampers. So this is also part of what a social worker would do. Okay, helping persons reaching out, being in the helping profession. So hopefully maybe next time around you'll be coming with me. Okay. Again, the ladies, welcome. And Super Compre, big up you. Great initiative. And also the children are loving it. So Miss Lucian and Miss Combi, I hope you're listening in. Great initiative. Please continue it. And Super Compre, continue the great job that you're doing. All right. So into what we are going to discuss today. So having a conversation with my lovely ladies, we wanted to have a session on one of the burning issues at their school and schools that they have observed, a prevalent issue. And what they came up with was bullying. And of course, we know that bullying happens all over, in all schools, even workplaces, everywhere there is a problem with bullying. So they are here now to address this situation. So they're going to give us some information on bullying. So any of you, can you tell me when you hear the word bullying, what comes to mind? What really is bullying?
For me, when I hear the word bullying, I think of people intentionally using words or actions against someone or a group of people to cause distress.
Okay. Anything further any of you would like to add? Okay. So can you give us an example or examples of bullying situations?
Examples of bullying situations can be like when peers, like use words to hurt their own colleagues. They get physical with one another or post online for them.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, have you seen these examples of bullying at your school or other schools or even in your community?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
All right. Before we go into what we would do in cases like this, tell us the different types of bullying that are there. I know there are different types of bullying, so tell us the types of bullying that are there. Go ahead.
Says, you want to go, Shanice?
Okay. The main types of bullying are physical bullying, verbal bullying, cyber bullying, and even social bullying.
Okay. So do you want to explain the types of bullying to us?
Okay. So physical bullying is when someone hit them, kick them. Verbal bullying is when they use words to hurt somebody. Cyberbullying is when people like post online, like bully others through online platforms, and social bullying is when someone spreads rumors or embarrass someone in public.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. All right. So tell us, with bullying, how do you think bullying, when somebody is being bullied, how do they feel? How does it affect or impact this person?
I think that bullying can affect somebody mentally, emotionally. It can cause distress, anxiety, bring down someone's self-esteem.
Thank you.
It can also cause others to have like suicidal thoughts or even self harm.
I feel like bullying can lead people to feeling insecure, and yeah, just letting them feel like they don't belong here.
Okay. Um, and what do you think can be done to help stop, limit, or curtail bullying?
In schools, the teachers can set an anti-bullying policy. They can also encourage kindness at the schools, even in the not necessarily the work field, but in society in general.
Okay.
They can also educate like the young ones about bullying and the consequences of bullying, because most people bully others and not even realize that they're doing it because they don't know like the meaning. So they can like educate them about bullying, the consequences, and how it can affect another person. Yeah, how it can affect someone.
I also think that at schools, especially when meetings, parent-teacher meetings are being hosted, I think that teachers, principals should educate parents more on how to discipline their child, how to educate their child more on bullying. So have one-on-one programs with their own child to ensure that they're not being bullied and be bullying others.
Yeah. And you can also provide support systems like counseling for both the bully and the victim.
Why do you think that would be necessary?
Because for the victim, when you're getting bullied, I'm pretty sure some children don't go home and tell their parents, Mommy, I'm getting bullied, or Daddy, I'm getting bullied. So you create a safe space so the child can speak. Maybe the child is feeling suicidal and needs somebody to talk to about this and cannot go home because maybe at home there's problems or there's issues at home, you're not so close with your parents. So putting the child into counseling gives them an opportunity to let things out, speak, and get the assistance that they need. For the bully, at home you may be experiencing certain things. Maybe your parents are going through a divorce, or maybe your lifestyle is not as great as the victim, so you're using that to bully the victim. And when you get into counseling, You can let the counselor know that maybe this is happening at home and that's the reason why I'm doing it. And the counselor can let you know that bullying is maybe not the best how would I say it? The best solution to run away from your problems. So now you're getting counseling for both being a bully and also it helps you figure out how to cope with the things going on at home.
Great job. Awesome.
Short break.
Pardon?
I'm gonna take a short break.
Okay.
In a few mics. Yeah, tell them we take a short break.
So we're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Please hang in there and come back. Come back with us when we do return. All right.
Yesterday, I learned that I was useless and no one likes me.
Today, in biology class, I learned that I was a geek.
Today, the students in my IT class made me cry. They said I was a skunk.
Yesterday, I got an email from Bianca. Get lost. I hate you.
Don't be a bystander. Help in the fight to stop bullying. You might just save someone's life.
1 out of every 4 students report being bullied during the school year. Students who experience bullying are at increased risk for poor school adjustment, sleep difficulties, anxiety, and depression. Suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among young people due to bullying. More than half of bullying situations stops when a peer intervenes on behalf of the individual being bullied.
Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honest.
This is
Yes. Thank you, and we're back. So I hope that you heard the message alongside with what the lovely young ladies were discussing on bullying. And bullying is a very serious matter. Okay, as Ms. Divine said, that we don't only seek help for the victim, but also the person doing the bullying. Because most times when persons bully another, it's because of how they feel. Okay, if you really take some time to speak to the bully, find out why this person is bullying another, you would realize that, as Ms. Divine said, something is happening at home, something is happening in this person's life that they go ahead and pass it on to somebody else. And as Ms. Daniela said, sometimes they do it and they're not even aware that they're doing it. You've ever seen that you have a bad day and somebody got you upset, and as soon as you get to the school, for example, Miss Lamontagne, say Daniela came and accidentally stepped on your toe or brushed you, and you just went off on her, and you keep telling her, whatever very mean things. Okay, so did you intentionally do that? Because you were having a bad day. Something was already happening with you. And poor job Daniela was feeling the way she was ever into it. So yes, we do need to get help for both persons, both the perpetrator and the victim, persons who are bullying and who are being bullied. Okay, so let's move on. Tell us some of the ways, did we discuss some of the ways that we can stop or prevent bullying?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So we are moving on to, how do you think we can create a safe space at the school? Apart from the counselor, apart from having the counselor present, do you think there's anything else that can be implemented or created at the school to help, especially victims of bullies? Okay, so for example, I think, yes, Sufre Complete does have a mentorship program. Yes, so with the mentorship program, do you think that maybe peer helpers can be identified? So in the absence of a counselor or the teacher, that persons can be put in place where if you need someone to talk to, someone to comfort you at some point or the other, that you could go to this person?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, at Super Comprehensive, we have peer helpers in the school because usually when someone is being bullied, they will not go straight. They will not go straight to the counselor or adults to help them deal with the situation. They usually go to their peers. So then, since the counselor has selected certain people to be peer helpers, they've trained to like help out with situations like this. They can go to their peers and the peers can like talk to them and like talk to the bullies, the victims and the bullies to see how they can resolve the conflict or the reason why the person is being bullied.
Okay. So very good, because not only, like I said, sometimes even the counselor, some children will say, I do not want to go to the counselor. They would feel more comfortable speaking to their peers. Okay, so I think as ambassadors right now, I'm calling you ambassadors. So you'll be at your school to assist with persons who are being bullied. So when you go back there, go to your teachers, let them know that, hey, we are going to be ambassadors for bullying, where we're going to speak to even bring out a campaign, anti-bullying, okay? Where you're going to speak to others about bullying, the effects of bullying, the types of bullying, both the persons who are being bullied and also the persons who do the bullying, okay?
Yeah.
So not only do we leave it on to the adults, but also you as the young ones, where the audience can identify with you even more, you are going to assist in that regard. Okay? Anything would you like to say before we move on?
I feel like schools should take immediate action to like stop the bullying behavior because sometimes, well, not much all the time, but sometimes some children are left like the bullies. They give a warning. Yeah. So like the consequences should be a little bit stricter, and yeah, for bullying. Yeah,
Why would you think that?
because for example, let's say if you talk to a child once about the bullying, they're not going to stop it one time. Like I feel like if they were to give them a harsher punishment, like it will give them some time to reflect and learn on their reflect on their actions. So next time before like bullying somebody, they will like think about the consequence. Like it will just give them a little idea of like.
Very good. I am happy to hear you say that, because I was actually thinking it, that there should be harsher penalties for bullying.
Miss, but what I've realized is at our school, as of recently, they seem to be taking bullying very seriously, because they said at the assembly that anyone who, well, they find bullying somebody else, I guess you're going to go on suspension. Now, before it wasn't so serious, like they weren't taking it very seriously, but as of now, I can say the principal and the vice principal are taking bullying very seriously at our school.
As they should, yes. But before, like we said, before maybe any harsh penalties or penalties altogether are placed on the persons who are doing the bullying, we need to ensure that the bullies do get help. Because like we said, we know that sometimes we don't even know how to come about and express how we feel. So persons react in any way, hurting others in their path. So do you think bullying only happen at schools?
No, bullying happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere. Where else do you think bullying happens, Miss Amontai?
At school, at home,
At the workplaces.
At the
In
workplaces?
public stores everywhere,
in the park, the store.
etc.
Yes. All right. Okay. So, in the workplaces, for example, you would have sometimes the way the persons in authority, like the managers, supervisors, the way they would speak to their staff, command and demand, sometimes even being disrespectful. So, for example, an employee comes in and says, "So, to their supervisor, manager, my child is not well. My child is very sick. Yes, I came in, but I'd like to leave a little early, please, too. Okay? Which I mean is quite humane. And next thing you hear, um, so who's going to do the work? What's going to happen? And this is how it goes. I would think that this is a form of bullying. Right now, you're using your power, your authority to bully this other person who is at a lower rank than you. And it should not happen because we are all human beings and all of us want to be treated fairly and equally.
But even at school, that's something difficult for some youngsters to job because they've been a victim of circumstances from inception, from the genesis of it. Parenting, they see what children like to emulate. They see what the father do to the mother or vice versa. So all those things is a major contribution.
This is why they should
Definitely, and this is why I emphasize that before any punishment or restrictions or whatever is placed on the bully, that some form of intervention should be done beforehand. Because as we said, sometimes it's not really the children's fault that they come into the bullying. It is that they express how they feel. Exactly right. Because they don't know sometimes a better way to do it. Because if I'm always being shouted at home, when I come to the school, why would I be calm? I would shout at you the same way.
It's a normal behavior.
Right. So I would mirror what I'm seeing because if it's okay, the persons I'm looking up to, powers of authority, that's how they behave. So that's how I'm going to behave. Okay? Because children mirror what they see. They will come out and behave the way their parents behave. Or even the teachers. Because you find some children when they come home, they speak to the dolls. Sit down. You must sit down and be quiet. Shh, be quiet. So they mirror what they see from the adults, persons they look up to. So we have to be very careful with our behaviors around children.
Another thing again, just to reiterate, when there's some conflict at school between teachers, parents, and students, the way parents come to the school.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah, because most parents come like they want to fight with the teachers.
Like they refuse to understand,
and sometimes in some situations, your child is the problem, and you come into the school like you want to fight with the teachers, and some parents believe that their children are saints. So they come to the school thinking that teacher provoking my child. First of all, you have to ask your child what went down and then come to the school to hear the side of the teacher. Because you cannot go based off what your child said. Children does lie a lot. So you cannot just come.
From the mouth of babies.
Yes.
Was it me?
You cannot just come to the school feeling like she harassing my child. So I'm going to come to the school and fight with her. Because that has happened before and the principal has to involve police. All that can be avoided. Just come and listen to what the teacher is saying before you take action.
Thank you very much. Well said, Miss. This is why you both were there yesterday when I did give the speech to the after-school program, and I mentioned that sometimes you only see parents when something happens at the school. That's the only time parents will come in. They want Navini Putichasa. But they do not take the time to find out what happened. There are three sides to a story. The either sides and the truth. But find out from the other party what transpired. Because I would not say that the children lie, but I would say that they would fabricate or twist the story, put it how they would want it look in their favor. Not exactly how it happens, but put it in their favor. So you need to find out now what is happening. And like I said before, parents, you need to know your child. Learn your child. Learn what your child is capable of and not capable of. As we said, you may not always be able to tell exactly what your child will do. But for example, if somebody comes to me and says, my child stole their money. Okay? I mean, my child stole your money? That for me is unbecoming.
Because you want to give the benefit of the doubt too.
Pardon?
You want to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, but this is unbecoming because I'll be like, I have money at home. My money is at home and my purse, nothing goes missing. So that one, it's not that I will completely ignore it. I won't, but it will strike me as, you sure it's my daughter? You sure it's my son? Like really? Okay? But I will investigate. I will investigate. It has actually happened to me, where it was reported that my daughter when my daughter it was reported that my daughter stole some money, and afterwards the parent, I think the parent told me that, and the teacher said to me, Miss, I did not call you because honestly it is not that's not the truth. It's not your daughter. From the time the report came, I realized, and only to realize that it was another child. So you could sometimes tell when you can always sometimes tell when it is your child or not your child. But like I said, you don't just completely ignore. Okay? You just don't completely ignore. Because also, Miss, can I use you as an example, Miss?
Yeah.
Daniela could be very quiet at home, not speak, always in her room, not interact. But when she's at the school, because she's meeting with her peers, Daniela may be loud and talkative and the boss and all. So you may see different characteristics. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Have you witnessed that at the school?
Yeah.
All right. So parents, from the mouth of babies, you heard that do not come to the school ready for teachers. Find out what is happening beforehand. Okay? We wanted to speak as well over, we touched it very slightly, but the causes of bullying. Tell us a little more about the causes of bullying. Why do people bully others?
One cause of bullying can be peer pressure because you want to fit in with your friends. Most of the time, the people bullying, their circle are like they have a fear of them because they don't want to be the person getting bullied. So you fit in with the bullies so you don't feel that type of hurt. So, for example, Daniela is my friend. Daniela, Shanice, and I are friends. Because Daniela is bullying Shanice, no, listen. Because Daniela is bullying Shanice, before she used to bully Shanice, Shanice found a way to fit in with the group so she doesn't get bullied. So now Daniela, Shanice, and I are bullying other people because we scared of each other bullying each other. Like, I don't know how to put it, but yeah.
I get what you're saying. So you have already created that impression and you've already made a name that you know that you're the bad boys of the school. So now you have to keep up with that image and you have to keep up to that name. So persons will respect you and the bully will not become the bullied. So you do not want that happening, that you let your guard down and others come to bully you. So you will remain the bullies, even when you know it is not the right thing. And also you know that, or in you may want to stop. You may think, okay, I do not want to continue bullying people. But like you said, Miss, just the fear of you now become the bullied, you have to continue keeping up with your image, right? Yes. So this is very interesting, and that's a great point. So negative image sometimes is a lot, but of course we're going to talk about some more interventions that we can use to deal with these situations. What other causes of bullying do you think are there?
Sometimes it's like a difficult family background. So like if somebody comes from a family, like we were saying earlier, like the father always quarreling with the parents, like sometimes the child just rubbing off on what they see at home, so they come to the school doing it to others, just thinking it's normal behavior and it's normal behavior, like this is something like everybody do, which is obviously not okay. So like it's just like the family self. Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything you'd like to add, Miss?
I believe that another cause is just people being jealous of each other or just rubbing off their own personal insecurities on somebody else. So let's say you don't have it or something like that. You see somebody weeping, you jealous. So that you just pick at that person. Doesn't necessarily like you tell them they don't they have it or they're not good or anything like that. But just pick at other things that just make fun of them or just bully them because you're simply jealous of them.
Okay, to make yourself feel better.
Mhm.
Right. We want to talk about a form of bullying, which is very concerning and has been happening, I think, among young people. Cyberbullying. Talk a little about that for me, please.
Well, cyberbullying. Right now, there's a platform. It's called Secret Messages. So, well, the teenagers of today tend to use secret messages to harass and sometimes even threaten children. Yes. So the way secret messages work, someone sends the message, but it appears anonymously. So you don't know who exactly is sending the message. So, for example, if Daniela and I had a situation where we fell out, I may use secret message. I will post the link on my status, and people will send messages through there, and I will post it just to hurt Daniela because I know they're going to be speaking about the situation Daniela and I had. So I don't have to speak for myself, but the secret messages will speak for me. So if I want to say, for example, that I'm not saying you're ugly, but Daniela is ugly. Somebody will say that in the secret message, and even if I think she's ugly, I will not say it to her on my status. I will post the message so she gets it. So it's basically like your contacts doing the bullying for you, but you're the one posting it.
Okay, so you're the one lighting the fire and you're asking others to add wood
Yeah.
to keep the fire going.
Yes.
All right. How do you think that could be stopped or minimized?
Well, I think a way it can be minimized is that parents can monitor their teenagers, their children, online activity because a lot of bullying is taking place online. So parents can just keep an eye out, like you said yesterday, when you're not looking, when your child not looking, you'll just go through the phone, see what's on the phone. That's little ways you can help to prevent cyberbullying.
But the reality is, parents will not sit down there and go through the since you're a teenager, some parents believe their children are teenagers, so now you grown at a place where you grown. So you will not sit down there and go through your child's phone. And then there's also a way, I think children may catch on to their parents. So I might see my mother go through my phone once and then I will block her from seeing my status or I will delete the things that I posted. So let's say your mother go through your phone at 4 o'clock. By 3:30, you have to delete everything that's not supposed to be in your phone. So how do parents know what's actually going on their children's phone if you deleted what you were doing?
Okay, great point. And there is this app called Parental Control where it can be installed on the children's phone so that the activities can be monitored. So with this app, based on what I've heard and understood by it, is that parents get updates on sites and everything that the children go in. They can actually control the screen time and all. So if at 4 o'clock you're supposed to put this phone down, they could shut down the device from you. Okay? So parental control assists a lot. So as you're saying this, that parents may not have the time to always go through the phone and monitor everything going on. So you let the app do the monitoring for you. Okay, so and I think it's very important because not just for bullying, but children are targeted because this is why we call you children vulnerable. Vulnerable meaning that you are not of an age to make decisions for yourself or make sound decisions for yourself. Because sometimes you may think that decision is best for me, but it's not. So this is why your parents are responsible to make decisions for you. Or when parents are not making the right decisions, they call persons like me, social workers, to come and act on your behalf. So you find many persons out there, we call them the perpetrators, persons who come after you, young children. They know that you are impressionable. Right now, you don't really know. You're at a stage where today I like ice cream and tomorrow I don't. So they know that. So they will come and they will play on your mind, as we say in our layman terms. They will confuse you and try to use you, get the best of you.
They're vulnerable.
So, because they are very vulnerable, yes. So this is why parents need to be very vigilant. Because I've gotten information that there is TikTok, where persons will reach out on TikTok to a lot of young people. Okay, Facebook. These are like breeding grounds for criminals. So they would impersonate young children. They would impersonate persons that you know or friends or people your age and come around to try to get to you. Okay, and children have gotten hurt through these mediums. So you have to now be very careful. And this is why, again, we're pleading with parents to ensure that you have this parental control app on your phone, not just to monitor your child's activities so that they won't be bullying and so on, but also to know when your child is in danger, when that perpetrator comes at your child and so on. Because I remembered when once there was these scammers where they send you the messages of you've won $1 million, right? So they messaged my son. My son does not have a phone. He was using my phone. So the message came on my phone and he was so excited. He said, "Oh, mommy, you've won $1 million." So of course, I think he messaged the person to say thank you or how do I get it? I can't remember. And the person messaged to him, send me your account or something, a personal information. And he stopped and he was like, huh? Then he came, "Mommy, this is whatever, but they're asking me personal questions." So right away he knew that I should not give out personal information on this phone. So he came and of course I stepped in to block the number. So all these are very important, and also not only the app's parents, but you speak to your children. Education is key. Educate your children on the do's and the don'ts. Don't ever think that, okay, this is not important, this is quite trivial. My child should know that. That's common sense, okay? Some things are not common sense, okay? Another situation, I think at the time of census, some people came to my home. They started asking questions. My daughter was there and she's like, "Why are they asking us personal questions?" She called, she did a video angling the people, showing me who was there and speaking very softly that they were not hearing her. "These are people at my home and they're asking us very personal questions, mommy." So, of course, they were not home alone. They were with an adult. My dad was there. And she then found out that it was the people from census and they were asking questions. So I laughed. I told her, "Good job. But, you know, my dad is there." And I did see that there were people from census. So all that. So if my daughter was not educated on what you should and should not do and not answer, of course, they would willingly just give out this information out there and, of course, put you in trouble. So parents, we have a lot of work to do, as I always say. And youngsters, you have a lot to do. And as I've called you ambassadors before, I'm going to call you ambassadors again, that you go out there, okay, and be the ambassadors against bullying for your school, against bullying, also to educate the others on the dangers of social media, all right? Because I do know that even pictures are posted. I've seen it on movies. I do not know of any live experiences that has happened where persons have literally hurt themselves. There was a series I was watching with some girls' academy where this girl, they posted her picture in the toilet and so on, and she actually committed suicide. So that was major bullying. All right? So, yes. So students, again, you will go out there and you will go out there and you will be ambassadors, you'll be messengers against bullying for your school. So before we end, okay, so we have Bevan Bats, listen to two sides and then act. Of course, persons who are listening in and the comments are coming in. Margaret Faswa.
That's my
Margaret
granny.
Faswa is watching.
That's my
So,
granny.
Hey, Granny. And we have a Delta Bowens watching from St. Vincent. Welcome. Keep watching. Thank you so much. All right. So we were looking at the interventions. We wanted to review some of the interventions that can be used to help both the bully and the persons being bullied. We mentioned it earlier. We said counseling for both of them. What other interventions do you think can be used?
You can also, well, parents, counselors, teachers, they can also encourage the victims to speak up and seek help if you're being bullied, because that has been a problem with like the victims being able to speak up because they fear for their life and things. So they can encourage them to speak up to somebody to help stop this bullying.
And even the bystanders as well. Encourage them to report the incidents.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say the bystanders also. It doesn't necessarily have to be the victim speaking up. And sometimes people shy, don't really want their business out there or anything. So if you see something happening, don't be afraid to just speak up and just.
But you know, the victims, it's so tricky when the bystanders actually go and report, because the victims feel like, because you went and report, now I'm at a place where it might get violent. So now they get fearful. So you have to do it in a way where you actually looking out for the victim, but at the same time, you have to let them feel comfortable enough. Let them know that you actually go and report. And even if they said not to report, at least let a teacher know, but don't share too much information. Leave that for the victim to do. And do it without the bully knowing. Because now, even if the teacher does not take immediate action, now the bully feels bigger. So now he or she is picking on the person even more, because they feel like you small, you're afraid, so you're running and report. Because they'll never think a bystander would go and report. They'll always think, okay, I'm bullying you every day, so you went and make the report. So now you're at a place where you have to fear for your life, because maybe it might get violent. They might threaten to kill you. They might threaten to come to your house and hold you. But the point is, when you witness something like that, make a report to the teachers. And some of the teachers won't even take immediate action, because they feel like that's children throw words and whatever. Some teachers take it as a joke, but for the victim, it's not a joke. And even for the bully, it's not a joke, because they need help as well.
Okay, well said. I do think something that can work as well if persons are afraid of reporting, because you find even the counselor's office or even the principal's office has been watched. So anytime somebody goes in there, they'll be like, something is happening here. So maybe the schools can adopt an anonymous box or a safe room, even if it's the principal's door or somewhere where anonymous notes can be written and then placed under the door. So if, for example, Mr. Montaigne here is bullying me, okay, and I'm quite afraid of her, I will not give my name. I will not put anything. I will just say that I am being bullied by Miss Lamontagne. Come by the stairs at lunchtime. She's always there, knocking my head and all. So just make around at lunchtime. You will see what I'm saying. I don't necessarily have to say who I am. Okay, so I'm putting that note here. So now a figure of authority has gotten that note. Okay, investigations will ensue. So I will come around as a teacher, pretend I'm on my merry way, do what I have to do to find out what is really happening. Or in the school, if there is not a there are certain spaces that the camera does not zoom on, I would now want to put a camera there. So indirectly, I'm not coming to that bully, like you said, maybe to put this person in trouble or in danger, because I have to find out what is really going on before I can really act. So I would want to take steps to ensure that this person becomes as safe as soon as possible and not get into more trouble. So I will take steps for that. So maybe that can work in schools where you don't necessarily have to go to somebody to talk about it, but you can write it on a note or do something, indicate that something is happening to me. Because until you don't report, when the figures of authority don't know that something is happening, you cannot get the help that is needed. And something that bullies thrive on is fear. Something that bullies thrive on is fear. So the minute that you are fearful of that bully, they will continue bullying you. So we have to break that, break the fear, break the silence, so that bullying can stop. And again, it's very important that all parties are brought in. So if when, example, Miss Lamontagne, it is found out that she was bullying me, it should not be just between Miss Lamontagne and myself. Our parents should be brought in, okay? So all of us should be getting some form of counseling. All of us, the intervention should be done with all of us, just not the two parties, okay? Anything else you'd like to add regarding the interventions?
Like when children come home to their parents complain, they've been bullied and things. So like parents should not ignore it. They should like call teachers and try to follow up with the situation. Like call the school to help see how they can prevent that, because it will just keep on repeating itself. So you have to like stand somewhere, inform somebody in order for it to stop.
Very good. So there's this thing called aiding and abetting, and it's a criminal offense, where if you've been told that your child is bullying another, you've been called to the school many times and you don't show up. Also, your child, you keep telling your child, so like basically you're encouraging that child to continue because you don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, a charge could be brought against you because remember that child is a minor, you are the figure of authority, you are the parent. So a charge could be brought against you for that because you're basically aiding and abetting the behavior. So parents, please note that if your child, it has been reported that your child is bullying another, it is your duty to seek help for your child, go to the school, find out what is happening, and put an immediate stop to that. Because you can be held accountable along with your child for what is happening.
It's like there was an incident at school and a set of children were bullying a little girl. And Form 5s were trying to try and settle the situation because we were telling them when we went Form 1 and Form 2, yeah, we had a lot of issues, but you have to spend 5 years with these same people, and eventually it's just not going to make sense anymore. Because Shanice and I used to be in problems like every other day, and look at us now. And the child was saying her mother told her to make her suspension worth it. So Shanice is telling her like, is that really what your mother said? Because as a parent, you telling your child to make her suspension worth it. Like, they're not even sounding right. And she actually took it so serious. She was willing to make her suspension worth it. She stand up by the office talking about, she don't care, she's going to get suspended. Her mother had already told her make her suspension worth it. And we're trying to tell her, like, when you, in the long run, that's going to affect you because at our school, for you to graduate, they count your suspensions or like the amount of things that you did even when you entered the school. So for you to start getting suspensions from Form 1, what if you don't change and you continue the same behavior up until Form 5? then you putting yourself at a disadvantage because now you've seen your friends graduating and you're not graduating because what your mother told you to make your suspension worth it.
And sometimes too, the children may misunderstand what the parents say. So that is why it's important. Schools call the parents, and parents, when you are called in, you come to explain, to show support for whatever is happening. And this is exactly what I was saying, that some parents actually do encourage it. So I'm letting parents know that it's a criminal offense and you will be held liable for that anytime this is reported. Okay? So, thank you so much. Before we move on, we were looking at interventions. Also, we can have education. Education is never enough, okay? Should never cease. So educate the children as much as possible using different platforms.
Like
Okay?
these.
These.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, definitely. So we could make brochures, pass it around the schools, have the media, seminars, panel discussions, and you know it, you have it. So come on board and let us all put our heads together to stop bullying. All right? Any last words before we end?
I just feel like bullying should just stop that.
That could never happen.
Yeah, that's the reality.
We have too many broken homes.
Yes, definitely. All right. So anybody we would like to shout out before we end?
Shout out to Miss Lucienne. I'm having a great time. Yes, big up you.
Oh, and Miss Combi too.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Combi. And the HFLE department. Just,
Hey, Mom.
yeah, fine. I know she watching it.
And big up our parents on the clothes. Because we're looking real cute.
Moms, big up you. Very much so. Parents, big up you. And the school, big up you, definitely. All right. So we shall meet again.
You will end it.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
Bye. Bye.